Hey, this is jace-burner of Team Rainbow Center doing another Abused and Forgotten. Hey everybody, the opening cinematics weren't lying. It is time for Abused and Forgotten, brought to you by jace-burner. Now, I'm going over a very old card out in the one of my favorite packs from Pharaoh's Servant. We got Morphing Jar number 2. And no, not Morphing Jar, Morphing Jar number 2. This creepy little green-eyed freak of nature is a level 3 Earth attribute rock effect monster. His attack and defense 800 and 700, not important. You're probably not going to use those stats for anything because his flip effect is kick-ass. When it's a flip effect, so return all monster cards on the field to their respective decks and shuffle them. You and your opponent then pick up cards until you both have the same number of monster cards, level 4 or lower, that were returned to each deck, and special summon of the monsters on the field in face-down defense position. Any of the cards picked up are discarded to the graveyard. 2 things. This thing's great for milling through your deck. You don't want to have any, you think that your spell and trap cards will get in the way, get rid of this. This is also good at pissing off your opponent. Use this against 6 Samurai deck. They put all their monsters back in their deck, and since they're only running about 14 monsters, all the other spell and trap cards again sent to the graveyard. There's draw, graveyard, draw, graveyard, draw, graveyard. Okay, Grandmaster, guess what? It's not level 4, graveyard. Shogun Shiin, graveyard. All those big dudes go to the graveyard and they're stuck with all the level 4 monsters that are now face down defense. One combo I like doing with him is that these monsters are considered special summoned even though they're face down. So if you have something that destroys special summon monsters you can play that and it destroys them. Plain and simple. I do love this guy. He's one of my favorite cards. He's not in my top 10 because there's just not a lot of room in the top 10. He is awesome. He's a deck out deck. You definitely try and use this guy. Him with Morphing Jar. If you're doing old school, I personally don't run the deck out deck. I use him in a basic deck just because I like to piss off my opponent. Yeah, those are his stats. He is one of the creepiest looking cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's no denying that. I mean, he's a big favorite between a lot of my friends, and he's just a good way of pissing people off. I'm pretty sure he's still at 2, or he might be at 3, I'm not sure. But he's just one of the ways of pissing people off. You don't have to use him in a deck that's meant to irritate your opponent. You can put him in really any deck. A rock deck, he's great. A flip effect, he's great. You put this thing in Worms, I believe, or what's going on right now, and you can get all those monsters, pretty much. And if not, you're putting them in the graveyard, which is also awesome. I'm tired. It's strange, it's like 2:15 in the afternoon. I shouldn't be tired, but I am. Yeah, that's pretty much all this card's got. He's awesome. He's a rare. He's just looking at you. Look at that. Right there. Morphing Jar sees you everywhere. I will never leave you. Alright, enough messing around. I give every card its day here on Abused and Forgotten, and that's what I did. This is jace-burner signing off. Peace, deuces.